All right, to get started on this next part, this is what you should have. You should have your picture boxes all moving when the play button is pressed, and the play button is gone. We don't have to worry about it. So the next part, we're going to really dive into this very simple game logic. How's the game played? Well, I'm supposed to click on one of these good picture boxes to basically score. So that's the first thing we can look at is I need to get score for clicking on either one of my good picture boxes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a label onto my form to show this score. So I'm going to call it label score. Score typically starts at 0, so I can just put score 0 like that. And maybe just make it a bit bigger, easier to see. There we go. Top corner out of the way. Now, the score is kind of overlapping one of my picture boxes, so I'll show you something cool here that I don't think I have. If I click on the score label and I go to format, I can go to order and I can send it to the back. That's going to push it behind everything, such that my picture box is in front. So just a cosmetic, visually more appealing way to do this. Makes it so that score is in the background as opposed to being on top. All right, so to keep track of a score, I have to keep track of information, and to do that I use a variable. Now you've used variables in App Lab, and the next unit is on variables, so I'm just going to give you a rough introduction to variables right now. In your code, if you want to make a variable and want to keep track of a score for this game, look at the very top where it says public partial class. We're going to go inside this block and create a variable. Now, AppLab had you using the var keyword and then whatever you wanted to call your variable. In C#, if you want to work with a number, you're going to use an int, short for integer, because score is a number and I need to keep track of a number, so I'm using int. We'll talk more about that next unit. And I do know what I want score to start at. I want it to start at 0. That makes the most sense to me. You have 0 score at the start of the game. Perfect. So when does score increase? Well, score increases when I click on one of my good picture boxes. So for example, if I click on this one, I could change the score. So I'm going to use the name of the variable. And there's a bunch of different ways you can increase a variable. I like the plus equals. Plus equals means increase, and you basically get to specify how much you want to increase it by. So typically score is going to go up by 1, almost always. It really makes sense to increase it by anything else at this point. So that's one line of code will make it so that your score is going to increase each time you click that picture box. Now, you ran into this issue before. It doesn't look like your score is changing. The label is still saying that the score is 0. We've done this before. Your computer is increasing the score. However, this label needs to be updated with the new score. And I know how to change the text of a label. I use the .text property, and I want it to still say score, except I don't want it to say 0 anymore. I want to attach the actual score. I want to show the actual value of this variable. So each time score increases, we are also updating this label. So those two lines of code allow me to basically create a scoring system in this game pretty easily. So now you can see, yes, score is being increased as far as my computer is concerned, but the label is increasing as well. The label is changing to show this new score. Now, the second thing we should cover on this video is the ball is not supposed to just keep falling. It's supposed to shoot back up when I click on it, right? So right now the ball is just continuously falling, but if I click on it, boom, I want it to shoot back up. So that sounds like we're going to have to change the position of this ball again. We're going to have to change the position of this picture box. Now, in this moment, I almost feel like I should let you guys do that. I don't think you need me for that. When I click on the picture box, you're going to have to put the picture box back at the top or back at its original position. So that PCB ball happy1.location, you're going to have to finish this code to get it back to where it started. Now you should be able to figure that out. And just carefully, please, you may have to click on your form. So in design mode, just click on your form so it's highlighted. And at the very top, you should see a auto scale mode property. I think it's set to font by default. Change it to none. This is just going to correct any issues you may have with changing the position of your picture boxes. So hopefully that solves any inconsistencies with putting your picture box back to where it started. Now, you also have to do your other happy picture boxes, your other good picture boxes, and you also have to do the bad one, but the bad one doesn't increase the score. It decreases the score instead. So a couple things going on there, but I'm confident that you can figure it out and get ready for the next part.